Hello friends, a very short but a very deep thought for the upcoming holiday of Shavuot. There's a famous question that is asked by a number of commentators. They note that when you look in the Gemara and in the Mishnah, you'll find that our sages call Chag Shavuos by a different name that does not appear in the Torah. The name of Shavuos that's found in the Talmud is Atzeres. Atzeres should sound familiar because we have another holiday that comes right after Sukkot called Shmini Atzeres. But that's not what the rabbis are referring to when they use the word Atzeres alone. They're referring to the holiday of Shavuos. Why, many commentators ask, use this word that doesn't have any biblical basis for this particular holiday? This question is answered by a number of commentaries, and we refer you to the Kedushas Levi, the Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, for a number of fascinating answers. But I will quote for you what Rav Mordechai Leiner, the Mei HaShiloach, answers, a very deep idea. The word Atzeres is a time of bringing in. That's what it means to be otzer, to bring in and to gather in. And that's why Shmini Atzeres is a time of gathering in, a time of confining something that was previously spread out and diffuse. You bring it in by being otzeret. And that's why Shmini Atzeres is a time when our crops are brought in from the field and we gather them in. The truth of the matter is that the giving of the Torah is very much patterned after the agricultural pattern of a person growing up produce in his fields and bringing it in after a certain point. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the Torah, it was like new seeds had just been planted in the minds and souls of the Jewish people. And it takes a while for that process to ferment and to grow over the course of perhaps many, many years, over the course of a lifetime, before a person becomes aware of what part of Torah HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decided that I should have. Meaning the Torah is infinite. My mind and my personality are limited and finite. So I can only receive a certain aspect of the Torah that is most propitious for my thinking, my soul, my personality. And sometimes it's impossible to know what part of Torah, whether it's a more dialectical, logical aspect of Torah, whether it's a more philosophical aspect of Torah, whether it's a more Hasidic aspect of Torah, and so forth. It takes sometimes many years to be able to figure out what part of Torah I'm going to gather in and really be receiving from Hashem. And the reason why Shmini Atzeres is called Shmini Atzeres and we have Simchas Torah on that day is because it's supposed to be a time that sufficient calendar space has been placed in between the giving of the Torah on the 6th of Sivan and Shmini Atzeres, where we gather everything in and are finally able to make some semblance of sense as to what my portion in Torah is going to be. Why did the rabbis call Shavuos Atzeres? Because they wanted us to contemplate even upon the very incipient giving of the Torah, even at the very beginning, where the Torah is infinite and overwhelming and full of mysteries and secrets that seem to completely transcend the human experience. I still have to, at the very beginning, start to think, what part of that Torah is meant for me? What am I going to inherit? How is the Torah going to shape and inform my life? And what portion of Torah will infuse me with that sense of being whole? We may not be able to experience it and realize it until we get to Shmini Atzeres, but the rabbis told us, start even on Shavuos to go through that thinking process of, let's see how this will materialize in my life. I may not realize it right away, but let me at least start to look for it. That's what is meant by when the rabbis call Shavuos Atzeres. Look for how the Torah is meant for you as a unique individual. There are so many aspects of Torah and Torah study. Don't let anyone ever tell you that there's only one way to be a Torah Jew. There are so many different ways, and there's one way that is uniquely yours. Shavuos is the time when we start to look for it. And let's spend the next several months until we get to Simchas Torah, trying to figure out what part of the Torah is really part of me. Wishing you a Chag Sameach.